Alright, family, what's going on? So, I just kind of want to do a quick recap of where I'm at right now. And so, something that's been a reoccurring theme in my life lately has been death. Death in the sense of accepting that all things must come to an end, whether that be people, places, things, opportunities. In order for you to truly enjoy it and cherish it, it must come to an end. So I began to ask myself what my heaven looks like. And as I began to visualize my temple, I started to wonder if other people had even visualized what their heaven looked like, what a perfect world looked like to them. And I realized, and what I've been coming to terms with, is that most people are void of original ideas, original thoughts. Everything is a derivative of somebody said, oh, they said. That's a generic response for, I'm not sure where I got this from, but I'm going to hope that somebody else's unknown authority is good enough to validate my self-confidence in making this decision. Everything goes back to yourself and being able to be aware of why you do things and how you spend each minute every day down to the second. This is crucial because say you had to go to heaven right now. Say it was your time. What does that look like for you? What type of feelings would you be carrying with you to your heaven that you haven't dealt with? Unless you are completely at peace, then I congratulate you, and I would probably say that you should probably be teaching others how to obtain that level of peace. But for the large majority of us, we are dealing with something. We're dealing with some form of death, whether it be in the form of addictions, relationships, major life decisions, anything, you name it. We all deal with death on a daily, except society would have us believe that death means finality, something final. But through going deep within ourselves, we can come to a realization that death is the only way for new ideas to be born, because not everything is a good idea. For instance, doing harm against others, that's not a good idea. You must put a death to those type of ideas and birth positive ideas, because thoughts become actions. Thoughts become words. Words become actions. Actions become habits. Habits become lifetimes, and lifetimes becomes your destiny. That's what you're destined to repeat. This is your karmic cycle. As you go into these different cycles, everything is on cycles and seasons. So why would you think that you would be any different? You have cycles and seasons just the same as the planets. And I think that's why the astrological element is so key to understanding who you are, because until you know what the planets are doing and understand that everything in the universe is a reflection of your reality as you perceive it as the center star, the star of attention, you have to understand everything you do in this life is going to be alone. You come into this world alone and you die alone. Now, along the way, you will meet individuals who will enhance your experience, but they are not to make your experience. They are not responsible for your experience, nor your existence, nor your ignorance. This is something that you have to take accountability and responsibility for, because everything is there. There's no excuse if you just slow down. Anything you want to learn can be taught in nature. Where do you think our ancestors and the people before us gained the basis of scientific knowledge? This was from slowing down and observing nature, because they didn't have all these other distractions. Therefore, they had no choice but to sit and watch as nature unfolded, and as the seasons changed, and as the different astrological elements affected our emotions as spiritual beings, having a human experience. This is something that you have to understand, that until you choose to take accountability for your reality, you're going to always be a victim of some circumstance. And in essence, what happens is you become conditioned to believe that your happiness lies in the external world, and you feel as though you're being punished, when in reality you're being taught to save yourself. This is the problem with carrying other people's burdens. For when you already have a destiny, a soul purpose that is unlike anyone else's, there are different categories of people, but each individual has a unique purpose that is part of the whole, that is part of the collective. Similar to gravity or the sun, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not, it still is going to serve its purpose in the universe. Whether you judge it, you could say, man, that sun is too bright. That's this and that. People judge the elements. What makes you think that you are so special or going to be void of judgment? The thing is that when you understand everything is a matter of perspective, you don't have to attach yourself to any one perspective or belief. By doing this, you hurt yourself because you're making it personal. Instead of remaining the pure spiritual being that you came into this world as, you begin to add and hold on and clench on to these attachments. And so when people attack these attachments in some shape or form, you manifest resistance against these people, which creates all types of feelings of envy, jealousy, low vibrational feelings that create a sense of resentment, and over time can be detrimental to a person's health. And when I say health, I mean spiritual health, mental health, physical health. Everything is connected. Everything bleeds into each other. That's why when you get your ship right, your warship, okay, first you have to even decide that you are going to serve in something greater than yourself. Once you can come to terms and make that decision, and hey, if you're happy serving your own interests and doing just for you, worrying about just what you got, if that's working for you, then continue that. But if you would like to know a better way, the best way is to help others, because in helping others, you will always be taken care of. That is how the universe works. What you put out is what you get back 10 times. So if you're putting out yourself being vulnerable to love, you can't start and get stuck in your head about conditions that aren't here yet, because what you're doing is you're actually creating those situations. If you just live in the moment, it doesn't matter who is going to betray you. It's a plot twist, like a movie. Would you want a movie where there's just nothing? It's just the characters got it all together Just you go through the whole movie, you just seeing him get his coffee, get his money, meditate, go to sleep. Like, the ups and the downs, the waves, the emotions, the emotional waves, the currents, the currency, all this is about a state of flow. Everything is about a state of flow. Energy is about a state of flow. Whenever you study any type of advanced physics, mathematics, you name it, everything is about harmony and flow. So I ask you, are you swimming upstream, tired of life because you don't even realize that you're swimming upstream? Or are you conscious enough to recognize that you're swimming upstream, but still trying to play against the universe? Like you're trying to gamble against the house. The house is always going to win. You have a finite understanding of an infinite matter. You are a blip on the timeline of events. How much of an impact you want to make is up to you. If you truly just want to not live up to your soul purpose and your divine calling and just be a background player for somebody else's, that's perfectly fine, so long as you're happy and at peace with yourself. But if you hold any type of judgment or resentment for yourself, you have to disconnect and understand that you are nothing and all things all at once. This is something that takes a while to get used to, but you understand that if not you, then who? If you don't want better for yourself, who will want better for you? If you do not love yourself, who can you love? Who will love you? When you think of love as having a cup, you need a cup to hold love so that you can pour into others' cups. If you have a drain as opposed to a cup, it doesn't matter if someone is pouring the finest gold, the finest, most expensive type of love you've ever felt in your life. It's going straight down the drain. And meanwhile, there's people who are begging for drops, single drops of love, and you're just, Why? Because it's selfish. It's self-indulgence. Everything is about a relationship in the universe. And whether or not you have a healthy relationship with all things. It's not about not doing certain things. It's about not becoming addicted, attached, dependent, or stuck to certain places, things, or people. It's about knowing when to let go. It's about once the diamond has been created by depression, of compressing all those feelings, and you get that golden, that diamond of knowledge, that bit of knowledge that is that aha moment about that situation, place, or thing. You're not supposed to keep holding on to that. You're supposed to let it shine. Bring it to the light. Bring it out of the dark. Bring it out of the depression. And share it so that others who have maybe been holding on to that same thing can then show what they created out of that depression. Because out of the darkness comes the light, comes the things that we enjoy as a society, as a collective. Everybody gets caught up in the end product, these end products and content that elicit a certain type of emotion, but they forget that in order to even get to a place of understanding and overstanding, one must go through life and experience the ups and the downs, because only once you have been enslaved do you understand the reciprocal of how to be free. You have to have both ends of the spectrum. It's a balance. Otherwise, how can you appreciate the other side? But the beauty of stepping into your God mind is that you can activate all the different parts of your self, your existence, and get them to work in harmony. Your ship, your warship will have your radar, your intuition, your sixth sense. You'll have communication. You'll be able to communicate with the other ships in your fleet. You'll be able to have a nuclear power source that is completely renewable. Energy is a renewable power source and is unlimited within us. It just has to be cultivated. It has to be refined. It has to be focused. You have to have a plan. Once all these things fall into place, then you have a fleet of empty ships. Now, what some people can do is they can go the robotic route. And with the robotic route, you can create robots, mindless drones that will fill these positions and do the job. But don't expect a single thing extra above and beyond or anything spectacular. Expect the bare minimum and bare minimum results. Or you can do what you do so well, you can show that your Navy, your ships, your designs, your whatever is so individually authentic to you that others resonate with that and willingly join your cause in the greater good for humanity. This is force versus finesse. This is the two methods of obtaining power. If you try to force it, if you try to market, if you try to take, you're going to get some. You're going to get power. But it will never be matched with the power that is willingly given by the people. And the way you gain the power of the people is by willingly giving to the people first. The people will take care of you once you take care of them. If you hurt the people will hurt you. Everything is a relationship. You choose what you allow to be abusive in your life. You choose this on a day-to-day basis, and it's up to you to be the final decision, because judgment is like a snake and it will strike quick and fast. So you either have to train your mind to lullaby the snake and become a snake charmer, or you have to become quick enough, sharp enough to catch the snake in its act, so that you don't apply judgment to others and you don't apply judgment to yourself, because you are not in a position to judge. You are in a position to experience. In this lifetime, it's about experience. And even as I begin to step into my divine purpose, I'm recognizing that I was put here to first discover myself and then teach others how to discover themselves. It's not about me knowing everything, because I'll never know everything. but I know enough to help anyone because I couple my empathy along with my knowledge and life experience, along with the guides of my spiritual advisors. And this team allows me to view any situation from multiple perspectives. I can understand where a person is coming from and why they may feel that way. And I also understand that their perspective holds no bearing on my life or success. That's merely a outside perspective. What matters is what I perceive, because they are not the visionary. I am. They don't have to see what I see. Otherwise, I would be in the same position as them and we would be seeing eye to eye. There's a reason we don't see eye to eye. That reason being, I'm not on the same level as them. And they're not on the same level as me. And that's fine. This is where you have to understand and let things go. Take the lesson. Take the understanding. What's meant for me will be in my life. And so long as I'm living out my authentic truth, as long as I'm following my divine purpose, being guided by the Most High, I will have no worries, no concerns, because all you got to do is meet the universe 50% of the way. The universe will make sure that the other 50% happens in the form of opportunities, places, people, and things. Usually people, because people are the keys. And so when you allow your heart to feel any type of resentment, or when you don't solve certain issues and you let them grow and turn into resentment, it begins to harden your heart. And even if a person may have the best intentions, you may shut them out because you're scared of being hurt. You're scared of loving. But I'm learning now that you gotta just love. Obviously, use some level of discernment, but you gotta just be willing to just jump in. Hey, if someone wants to betray you, that's fine, because they're really betraying themselves. They're really hurting themselves. They just don't understand that. They're lost. So if you are in a higher position, a teaching position, if you have managed to climb the life or the ladder of life quicker than they have, help them out. It's no sense in trying to be jealous or envy, because they are the star of their reality and you are the star of your reality. And you both can create whatever you want, so long as you co-create with the universe and swim with the current. Do what's right. If you try and take shortcuts, cut corners, that may work. That may yield you some type of short-term power. But if you want something that is lasting, if you want your soul to feel fulfilled, if you want to be at peace with yourself, you must first release your need to control and micromanage the universe. You must let the universe create harmony in your life. And how you do this is by synchronizing your thoughts to those that are of which positive, that have some type of high vibrational energy, because there is no race, there is no colors. Everything is about energy. It doesn't matter who or what you got going. It's about your energy. Some people are positive, negative, and neutral. And it all depends on where you want to sit. How do you want to live your life? If you've tried one thing for so long and you're sick of that, why not try something different? Why not? That's all I ask you. Why not? Why not try to be better? If you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing. And that's a good thing. You're learning. Just make sure to get the lesson so that that pain is not for nothing and that the universe doesn't have to repeat that lesson louder to you. Understand and keep it pushing. Move out of love. It's the path of least resistance. I'm telling you, I tried to swim upstream, tried to take things by force, and I'm realizing it got me nowhere. I may have had some small wins along the way, but it got me nowhere. And I'm back to square one, and I'm having to start over like a baby and relearn how to live free of judgment for myself and others, and understanding that people's opinions, they're going to have them. They're going to talk. People complain about the rain, the sky, the snow, everything. People complain. People will find a reason to complain. There is never going to be a shortage of complaints. So why wouldn't you at least focus on the opposite? Like, what has focusing on worrying ever got you? Has it ever had or turned out into a positive result? Has worrying ever affected any outcome in a positive manner in your life? If so, I'd love to hear about it. But for me personally, worrying has done nothing for me. And that energy goes somewhere. I'm a firm believer in any type of energy. It gets stored somewhere. Anger, you can't. That's why you can't trick the universe. It's like whatever you feel, you're going to get back. Because it's an energy game. It's not a color game. It's not anything like that. It's a game of energy. Who can manipulate the energy and transmute the energy into something constructive, into something that they can build upon? Can you take the stones that people threw at you and build a castle? Because that's what I did. So while they was laughing, throwing all them stones, I'm just catching them joints. And now I got a castle. So now they can't even get close. I got the whole moat, all that. Yeah. Black Pegasus. Like, it's about freeing yourself from your own mind and understanding that you are a spirit, a soul first, and a human second. That's why there's no such thing as even gender roles, because you are both. You are a female and a male. And you have to cultivate a healthy relationship between the two. Between your divine feminine and your divine masculine. If you disregard one side, the other cannot operate. The divine masculine represents the zero, the womb, in which ideas are gathered. The divine masculine represents the creation, the physical manifestation of the idea, whether it be externalized via words, actions, things. It all comes from the divine feminine, which is where the gathering and the understanding takes place. By combining these two, you are able to get into a form of quantum thinking, opposed from duality, good, bad, male, female. That when you combine the two into one, welcome to the quantum. This is where we're headed. The combination of the divine masculine and the divine feminine